just received the second drop of the Chrome Dklein collaborative effort, so I figured I'd go over some of the thought process and the designs for some of these new pieces. I figured what better place to start than from the top. This is one of my favorite pieces of this collection. It's a phrase that I think encompasses a healthy way of living, so I thought of doing a box with a halftone pattern over it. Gives it an interesting effect. It only used one color screen, and it has a really cool hand feel to it. This is a phrase that I'd had written in my studio. Make things is almost like a mantra, a way of living, a philosophy for life. And I really appreciate that it just has that. It's almost like a design piece, more than like a branded graphic tee. Driving around and seeing these landscaping places with rock and gravel and sand, and I thought, well, why not just have like a kind of a tongue-in-cheek bicycle version of this? So I figured it should be called Shredway Road and Gravel, because that's what a lot of us ride. The piles of gravel, maybe they're a mountain, the S of the road is the S of the Shredway. Very straightforward. If you have eyes, you've already deciphered this. Thinking about the concept of life and death, the impermanence of life, the ephemeral nature of existence for all living things, and just got on a kick of drawing a lot of reapers. And who doesn't like a good reaper? It represents the totality of life. It just makes sense. It's really cool iconography that's loaded up with meaning, which I really appreciate. Using a halftone as a fill gives it just an interesting effect. It looks kind of different. It's a way to not have such a heavy print on the front of the piece. Timeless classic. When I was doing research for the designs in this collection, I went past a university and saw a security guard with a coach's jacket, and it said game official or something on it, and I thought, oh, that would be so cool if that coach's jacket said game over on it. It's like a cool reminder that this isn't gonna last forever. Do what you can or do nothing with it. Another of the graphics I thought would be really cool was just to have an abstract pattern. It doesn't have to be bike, it doesn't have to be anything, it's just a graphic. And again, that's kind of not that common these days, so this is what I came up with. A 3-color halftone abstract pattern that is just fun to look at. The process of getting to all of this is definitely a journey. It does not come overnight. There's a lot of thumbnails and sketches and work in Illustrator that goes nowhere. But it's very gratifying when there is a final result that you can touch and see and smell and feel. Another piece I was thinking while I was designing this stuff was there's some baby blocks up in the studio that spell velo or love, and I've always appreciated how those two words are so simply interchangeable. You look at it, you kind of think love, but you see velo, and it's this visual mind trick that is just kind of fun to play with. To me, the flower is the perfect representation of the life and death, the impermanence of life, the cycle that we're in. They're here today, beautiful, and gone tomorrow. Like a snapshot of life. It's easy to think of flowers as old people and crappy tapestry, but they're so loaded with meaning, it's like, how can you go wrong? And I was really into the idea of what's the simplest version of this image that I could make. And this is essentially what I ended up coming up with. I love this hat. It looks so interesting to me. You can't tell what brand it is. It's kind of in disguise. Also, Portland, City of Roses, not the biggest impetus, but you know, white with a black stock. That was also a specific choice. It brings it into a type of hyper reality. There's 2 other shirts that uses flowers also. One of them has the 2 colors mixed together, almost like a 3D effect. And the other is a small micro dot of flowers that reads as a textile pattern from a distance, but then when you get up close to it, you see that it's several different small flowers. Hopefully some of this created some depth and understanding into how these designs came about and why they are the way they are. Until next time, fair people.